Hey, DLC is evil. It's bad. Video games suck when they have DLC because it's not good to pay more money for more game. It's evil. No, it's not. DLC is actually good sometimes. What are you saying? You're a fascist. Why did I do that skit just now? Well, let me tell you. I don't actually know. Today we're talking about DLC, otherwise known as downloadable content for video games. I just finished watching a video from one of my favorite gaming news channels, Pretty Good Gaming. I'll put their link in the description below because they're not too popular, but oh my gosh, they are amazing and I love them. But they were just talking about Nintendo pre-orders, and for the sake of not getting my video copyrighted and then claimed by Nintendo, I will show absolutely no footage of their games. Because apparently whenever you pre-order the Switch, or whenever you get a Switch, the only way to play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on their hard difficulty, I think, is if you pre-order the game. I don't know if it's if you pre-order the game or if you buy like a season pass, but you don't get it if you just buy the standard game alone. You get easy and normal difficulty. That's it. Like, are you kidding me, Nintendo? Come on, of all companies to just completely throw a difficulty behind a paywall. Nintendo? I mean, it's been done before. Other games have done it. Resident Evil 7 kinda did it, not quite, but, you know, I just don't like that game in general. It's just really sad to see that some of these business practices are going into Nintendo's business practices. Like, are you kidding me? This is what you're doing to modernize Nintendo and start to become part of the actual, like, competition? Because the Switch is all about, like, third party and broadening Nintendo's horizons. And the first thing they do is they make the hard mode for Legend of Zelda behind a paywall. I don't understand. And you know, a lot of people will just flat out say that DLC is bad, that downloadable content is the bane of video game existence, and that's not true at all. DLC can be some of the most incredible parts of the game. Let's look at some examples. In my hand is my copy of Oblivion's Shivering Isles DLC. I lied to you just now. No, I used to own a copy of the PC version of Oblivion's DLC for Shivering Isles. I bought it way back when I was a kid, but I never had the game for PC. I was a stupid kid. But I have played it because I got the DLC on my 360 version of the game, and I also got it on my now PC version of the game. But Shivering Isles, I think, has gone down in history as one of the best DLC expansions ever created, and that's because Bethesda did something really special and amazing with it. They actually put love and care into it. Believe it or not every company's DLC bundles are just weapon skins and hard mode. Like, they actually do stuff. Now, Shivering Isles was amazing, and still is. It's an entirely new world for you to explore with new people, new creatures, new quests, a new story, new armor, new weapons. So much to do. So much. And it's truly incredible. And, you know, it's not really a surprise that something as amazing as that came out when you look at Morrowind and they had Blood Moon and Tribunal, because those were really good too. People like those. And the same business practice went on through Skyrim and Fallout. Now, granted, Oblivion also had horse armor DLC. And yes, I will say that's really stupid. I think it was like $2 to get armor for your horse. But Bethesda learned from that because they got backlash for that. I mean, how stupid is horse armor? No one wants horse armor. But they learned from it, and their games, we're talking Bethesda Game Studios specifically, not corporate Bethesda, but Skyrim and Fallout Bethesda. That business practice has gone through their games now. I mean, you look at Fallout 4 and you can say whatever you want about base building or what you think of the game, but 2 of the DLCs in that game are a new area to explore. One of them, Far Harbor, is much bigger than the other, which is Nuka World. But they do offer unique stories, and they're different from the main game. Thank God. And then there's 2 DLCs that add stuff for settlement building and stuff like that. But I mean, I didn't play it personally, those DLCs, because I didn't get the season pass for Fallout 4. But I heard that if you like base building, they're fantastic. It sounds like it's a nice add-on to the workshop. For the most part, Bethesda's DLC offer a new world or environment and more quests, more content, weapons, armor, exactly what I said earlier. There's so much good in their DLC. Look at Witcher 3, Blood and Wine. I heard that the expansion alone is bigger than most AAA games. Not just in scale, but in length and content. I mean, it's incredible. And that's just a DLC. The main game itself is much larger than that. But then again, CD Projekt Red is one of the best companies out there. Not just with their games. You can argue that you don't like their games, and I'll completely respect that. But in terms of their business practices, they're one of the most respectful companies out there, in my opinion, because they actually care about their consumers. And also, Pretty Good Gaming, the channel I mentioned earlier, they did a video about CD Projekt Red. That's going to be down in the description below. I highly recommend you check it out, because say what you will about CD Projekt Red, but how they're doing things within their company is, it should be the standard that everyone else is doing. Anyways, back to DLC. I don't think it's evil. I don't think it's awful. I think it can be abused, but I think a lot of companies who respect their consumers know what they're doing, and they can make good DLC. And I think that in a lot of cases, it's a great way to expand on your main game and allow people to not only enjoy more of the game, but to enjoy it in a different way. Now, DLC that I think is stupid is map packs for multiplayer games. Call of Duty does this. I don't know if Battlefield does it, but a lot of shooter games do it. Why would I want to spend money on more maps? It's a map. Granted, the map might be frickin' awesome, but it's not worth my money. I'm not going to spend money for that stuff. And obviously a lot of people are, because Call of Duty keeps pumping out map packs, and I don't get it. Why would you spend your money on that? That shit should be free, in my opinion. It's a map. Now, if you want to create a new game mode, a lot of new weapons, and bundle a map in there as well, sure. $5, maybe $10, great. But if you're just giving me a few maps, and like it's what was it? Black Ops 1. And I remember this because I just bought this recently. It was like $15 to get 4 maps for zombies and a couple maps for multiplayer. It was like $15 because my friend and I, we play Black Ops Zombies when he comes over, the original. I don't know why, because I don't care for Black Ops, but I think it's so fun, the zombies in that game. But, you know, $15, and that game isn't even relevant anymore. People hardly play it. Like, are you serious? It's... But then again, that's Call of Duty for you. If you can't tell, I have strong feelings about Call of Duty. I have strong feelings about a lot of things related to video games. The point I wanted to make with this video was that DLC isn't evil. It's not a terrible thing. And video games cost more to make nowadays than they ever did before. So companies are trying to bring in as much income as they can. And I understand that, and I get that. Honestly, if video games were priced in such a way that made it like as good for companies as it was years ago, these are the figures I saw online. I don't have the source because it was months ago and I don't remember, so take it with a grain of salt, but it said that if companies were to make the same ratio of income based on how much they spent on the game, video games nowadays would cost between $70 and $80. But companies haven't bumped up the price because no one's going to want to pay that much, which is surprising. Except they did bump up the price, because if you want to play Battlefield 1 with all the content and all the expansions, you got to spend $100. If you want to play a game, if you want to play Resident Evil 7 with the hardest difficulty and a few in-game collectibles for whatever frickin' reason, you gotta spend $70, I think it was just $70. Or if you want the collector's edition, which doesn't even include the game and instead includes a broken collector's piece, you gotta spend $120. I mean, these backward business practices, they should be obsolete. They shouldn't be done anymore. Like, this is shit gaming companies should have been pulling off way back when we first started DLC. And now they're pulling it off now. What? Why haven't they learned? Why haven't we learned? You just have to be smart with the DLC you purchase, if you do. Because sometimes it's such a good payoff, and it's worth more than your money, in the case of Witcher, or in most cases a Bethesda title. But at other times, it's just a ripoff, and you'll play the DLC one time before you decide, not really worth it. So you just gotta do your research, I think, and be smart about it. And if you can ever get your hands, like if your friend buys DLC or something that you were thinking about buying, if you can somehow, play the DLC off of their console or their PC, it's smart to do that first and see if it's something you'd be interested in instead of just buying it. At the very least, you could just look it up on YouTube and watch a couple minutes of it. I mean, if it's something like Call of Duty maps, nothing's gonna be spoiled for you. You're just watching someone play multiplayer. What the hell ever. If it's something like Witcher 3's Blood and Wine, then you probably want to watch just a snippet of it so that you don't have any spoilers. So that's all I wanted to really talk about. I'm disappointed in Nintendo because their business practices just suck in general. They flag videos, they claim videos if, they show their gameplay and promote their games. That's really smart of you, Nintendo. Good job. Keep up the good work. I remember when I first started on YouTube, I was really concerned about that stuff. And we're talking way back when, like in 2013. I was concerned about showing gameplay footage because I thought that there was copyright rules strictly on every game and that you had to buy some sort of permit. Because I had never done it before, so I didn't know. But no, turns out most gaming companies they're freaking cool with it. They're like, yeah, play our games, because you're going to promote the shit out of it, and people are going to want to buy it after they see you play it. And that's a good business practice, because it works. But Nintendo's just like, we want money for that video, because you suck, Like, I don't understand that. But that's a different topic. This isn't even about DLC anymore. Bethesda, good on you for making, in my opinion, good DLC. I think you do a great job at it. CD Projekt Red, same goes to you. There are other companies out there that make DLC correctly as well, and they need to be commended for it. Unfortunately, I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. But if you guys want, you can leave your comments on some of your favorite DLC bundles, as well as some of your least favorite. I'd like to hear it. I'm sure there's some great stories of some really shitty DLC content somewhere around there, and I'd like to hear that because it's always entertaining. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my rant. I'm sorry that I did rant. No, I'm not. I like it. Ranting is fun. It's fun to complain and critique something that isn't yours, as long as, it deserves the critique. And I feel like in this case, a lot of the negative things I said do deserve it. But that's going to be it, guys. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.